What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a new episode of J-Rock Show here in the SimWorld TV studios. I'm your host, Jason J.K. Candell, and like I mentioned on Tuesday night, I have guests with me on this fine Friday afternoon. I got Coach Skinny Washington here in the studios with me. Welcome to the show, Coach Skinny. Great to have you here. Definitely been a long time coming. How are we doing on this fine Friday?
What up, JK, man? We've been trying to link up for a minute to make this happen. I'm glad I'm on here, man. We doing good.
Glad to hear it, man. It's definitely been a week in SimWorld U basketball. We've seen some upsets go down. We've seen some players really take the next step in their game, and there's even been some reports about your own future at the SimWorld U level. So I'm really excited to get into this one.
Let's do it.
All right, first thing I want to start off every episode with. I've been doing it for a couple weeks now. J Rock Performer of the Week. 30 points against Villanova on Wednesday. Jay Laster, the freshman, formerly of SimWorld Prep, gets this one. Villanova goes down to Georgetown on their home floor, and it wasn't even a contest. Jay Laster absolutely deserved this one, Coach.
I'm proud of Jay Laster, man. It's been a minute. He comes and goes. I think he's uberly talented. He just comes and goes. So I'm always happy to see him on the go. And when he lighten it up, because I mean I seen it in prep, so I know what he's capable of.
Yeah, and that's a Georgetown team that's no slouch. You got Keith Singleton, another former SimWorld Prep guy, run DMV, and then you have JoJo Kearney and Natalie Backman. This is a Georgetown team that, even if they're not ranked right now, they're a team that you cannot take lightly any given night.
Oh nah, we already knew coming into the season, all the preseason rankings, all the preseason talk. Hey, we knew they was the real deal. Um, I was terrified of the defense that they could potentially have, and uh, they just all around good team. I kind of hated they in the Big East because I would like to see them in a tougher conference. I don't think Big East is that tough, but they are legit.
Yeah, the turnaround from Pat Ewing to Ed Cooley has been pretty impressive for this team.
Oh yeah, I don't want to do Pat like that, but yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I'm a big Nick fan, so I hate to do one of our franchise greats like that. But switching gears to Villanova here, Coach Skinny, we saw them really struggle on Wednesday against Georgetown on their home floor. Jay Laster gave them problems. 16-game win streak now snapped. They were the number 3 team in the country. They go down. On Tuesday, we see the number 2 Texas Longhorns go down at home to Texas Tech. And then we saw Duke go down to Florida State last week. Each of the top 3 teams in the SP Top 25 have lost in the last 10 or so days. The bedlam is here. We're not here for hoopsteria just yet, but we're definitely seeing some chaos out there in conference play. Any given night, anything can happen.
Yeah, just like you said, it's starting early. That's all it is. It's some the top teams been top teams all season. It's kind of like, they going with the motions, but the teams under them are hungry, and you get caught slipping, that's what's going to happen. I don't really think it's a knock against the top teams. I think it's more of a statement against the lower seeded teams.
Definitely, it's proving that there's a lot of teams who are not considered elite that are still very good and definitely not teams you want to face. And it's kind of impressed me in that regard, watching Malik McNeil back down Arthur Lattimore and DeMonte Claudio, watching Garrett Hart outplay Cooper Flag, watching Jay Laster outplay Justin Bell. It's I don't think we're panicked about these top 3 teams, would you say?
No, I don't think we panic.
It's funny because I think all 3 of them lost in their home courts too, which is even crazier given the state of SimWorld U right now.
Yeah, I mean, this I think this a good smack in the face for the top teams to let them know, like, listen, hey man, the tournament right around the corner. Like, you better come with it, because these other teams, you got to stay hungry. It's hard when you're a top team to stay hungry because like you just waxing everybody every single night. Like, but this is good to get those teams back hungry, and I actually think it's scary for them to lose like that because now they're gonna come back with some, some blood in their mouth.
Yeah, we also have Kentucky, who lost two straight headed into Fayetteville for that John Calipari revenge game. This is why we love this sport, isn't it? We
Uh, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry, JK.
no worries, man. But this is why we love the sport, right? DJ Wagner and John Calipari faced the team that left them out to dry. The storylines write themselves. I don't know if at least that's what I believe. I don't know what how you felt watching that, but DJ Wagner's a killer, man.
Oh well, nothing makes me happier than to see the Wildcats lose. So, uh, that made my day. I think I'm gonna be biased. It is what it is. I'm Homer. It is what it is. I think they overrated, and I've always thought they was overrated. So, I'm not surprised here. I mean, that's all I can say about Kentucky.
That's a pretty declaratory statement right there, Coach Skinny. I know you're a big Louisville guy. We'll talk about it, but are you calling the program overrated? Are you calling Mark Pope overrated? Or are you calling Jamison Johnson and Glory Tate the overrated ones?
No, Jameson Johnson and Glory Tate, they the truth, but they just misguided. They chose the wrong Kentucky team. As far as the program's concerned, they not overrated as a program, but I mean, let's be real. Like, uh, they they ain't done nothing since the '70s and '80s. I mean, uh, they not they haven't done nothing lately. I think in sports, the biggest thing people need to understand is like, what have you done for me lately is very dominant, right? And they haven't really done nothing lately. And as far as Mark Pope, I don't want to get on his head too bad, but he's not Coach Calipari, and they know that, but they wanted him out, so that's how it works.
Yeah, that was quite the interesting game, but let's talk about your Cardinals. We got Kid Arius Loftus, we got Pooh Lewis, you got DeMarco Graham. What do you see unbiasedly as the ceiling for this team, and how proud are you of this turnaround from last season to now?
I'm ecstatic. I know, unbiasedly, I can't be unbiased. It's just unfortunate, but I've always see the good in them, despite what everybody else see. But the biggest thing about being a Cardinal is you just gotta have that grit, and that's up and through this roster, man. It's just full of gritty, dirty, not in the sense of like playing dirty, but like just getting in mud and doing the dirty work type of players. And as you continue to build on that, the wins will come, the big wins will come. We just gotta be more consistent. We don't really have a consistent. I don't think. Looking from the outside in, we have a consistent number one go-to guy. It could be anybody, and I think that's detrimental. I would really like for us to find that before we hit the tournament. But yeah,
Yeah, not a great loss to North Carolina on Wednesday in Chapel Hill. Bam Wallace just gave that team problems. He's a prospect I'm really starting to fall in love with in this draft.
yeah, he been making waves. That kid is something. He really been making waves, and it seems like he's getting better every game, which is absolutely terrifying for opposing teams. So yeah,
Yeah, and I really like Kasim Porter. I know you know are very um, familiar with a lot of these players, a lot of these freshmen at least from your SimWorld prep coaching days with Queen City. Kasim played for Coach Drayton, Sean Hyman, Dre Pope. Like it's impressive to see how much has see these players play well at the next level.
yeah, I'm really excited for Kasim because you know, um, Drayton runs a tight ship over there. Um, so it's not like superstar heavy. Like you don't go to Drayton's team to be a superstar. You go to his team to develop. And so you don't. I mean, I seen it because I watched a lot of his tape, but from the outside looking in, you don't really see like his skill. Like he got real skill, and and UNC seen that, and they letting them go crazy out there. So I'm happy to see that.
Yeah, and he's one of those floor generals I really like. But I know that Coach Drayton's taking over Syracuse next year. We There are some reports that Tomas Kusa might be in consideration for that Minnesota job. So this leads me to a question I have for you. Really, my heavy hitting question for this episode is where, amid the reports that you might be making that jump to SimWorld U, what do you really look for in a program you're looking to take over?
I'm looking for just like what I said in Louisville. So got grit, dirty players, like just you know grab your lunch pail type of players. That's the players that I love. That's the players that Pat Kelsey has grabbed over there, and I'm looking for the same for. If I was to get a call, I'm looking for the same type of player. Not necessarily superstars. Just I just want the grind. I want those type of grindy, lunch pail type of players, and I can build from there.
So, Coach Skinny, we're talking about it. There could be some intrigue with you going to the ACC to beat up on your Cardinals. You could go build a program up. What are you really looking for? Like, are you looking to build a program up, or are you trying to take a program that's had some established success?
Uh, I'm an ACC guy. Obviously, like Louisville, it's an ACC. I'm looking for a team with some gritty players, just like Louisville has. And contrary to popular belief, I'm a big fan of Pat Kelsey. And in a perfect world, I'll be a Louisville coach. But he's such a good coach. That won't happen for the next 55 years. So um, I think what could be a better story than Coach Skinny coming to Louisville and beating his beloved Cardinals? So I personally want to go to the ACC if there's a team out there interested in me, but I wouldn't scoff at any job offered to me, honestly.
Okay. I So another question I want to know from you is, who are your favorite players to watch in SimWorld U? Is there a player that you would love to want to coach that might be headed to the SWBA soon, or is it just guys you find interesting to watch?
I don't I don't have many players because y'all know I'm a big Louisville fan. I don't really watch a lot of players. Um, but we talked about a few. Kasim, obviously, I'm not going to be a coach over there, but if we talking about players that I watched, Kasim, uh, offline we talked about Sherwood. He's a hell of a player. We talked about Bam. We talked about so I watched a few of these guys. I don't have um, a standout player that I just want to coach. Like I said, because I watch more Louisville than anything. But if I was to get a call, obviously I would do my film work, and then maybe we can maybe we can have this conversation again.
Okay. I mean, gotta be impressed with the way they have turned around that program. But since we kind of talked to you about the SimWorld, the elephant in the room in a sense, I kind of want to turn things back a little bit. What are your favorite memories of you being a SimWorld prep coach, and how did you kind of get your start in coaching?
I was coaching elementary school off of a coach getting sick back when COVID was going crazy, and I just stepped in, and I just fell in love with it ever since then. Obviously, the kids wasn't very good, but as the season progressed, because the guy got better eventually, but the kids loved me so much he wouldn't step back into his role and gave me the role. So um, just to watch the kids develop was like the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. Um, and then from there, I wanted to step up to a bigger level. I got a call from Heartland, and I I was skeptical on Heartland because their court was like dusty. It smelled like old cigarettes and donuts. It was weird in there, man. Like they had couches in there. It was just weird. Um, but I seen something that I can turn into a beast. And um, very first game, fan out there trying to take a bite of a player, and I knew that this was the place for me. Uh, so I love the chaos over there that we created in Heartland, and then I went to Queen City. It was more chill, more professional, like, and I like that scene too. But by far, Heartland had to have my best memories by far.
And a question I want to ask you, because you seem very fond of your time with Heartland, is or not Heartland, Queen City, is how difficult of a decision was it for you to leave Queen City, both to join the media team and then eventually join Louisville?
It wasn't hard, and I wanted to. I'm big at uh, showing like the kids like I'm not just talking. Like when you have an opportunity, you gotta jump. Don't be scared and take it. Like I want them to see that firsthand of me leaving, um, to show them like you see an opportunity, don't be scared of it. Like just go for it. Like so, I wanted to show them that it hurt, but I wanted to show them personally, instead of just being all talk.
Yeah, and I respect that. It's a lot of culture. There's a lot of coaches who really emphasize culture at the prep level. And how do you think that will bode for you as you look to potentially make that move to SimWorld U?
I think it'll work out fine. Like I'm a player's coach. Um, Now I could be wrong. They could be saying anything to me, but I don't think I ever had a player that did not enjoy playing for me, win or lose. So I think obviously if I'm gonna get a call, there's gonna be a team that's struggling, and I think I'm the most equipped coach to deal with keeping morale in a down year. It's easy to win, um, but being able to lose and keep fighting it is a real skill.
And you mentioned that take your lunch pail kind of coaching, Coach Skinny. So, who were your coaching inspirations? Who did you kind of model your own approach after?
This the funny thing. So I modeled my whole coaching after a coach that's not even in basketball, um, but it's Mike Tomlin. Um, he is what you define as the taking your lunch pill. Like he's straight to the point. He don't really BS, but he get these kids, well, not kids. He get these grown men to run through a wall for him, and that's what I wanted to do. And I think I was successful in that part. I think any player I've ever coached be willing to run through a wall, not just for me, but for their team. So that's where I got my inspiration from, is Coach Tomlin.
I respect that. And I have like one final two-part question before I send you on your way. Like I said, I appreciate you spending time with me on this Friday afternoon. First question I have for you: do you have a favorite episode of Coffee Break that you've ever put out there?
My favorite episode of Coffee Break.
Because I love when you diss the Cowboys.
Yeah, no, those are by far my favorite. uh, uh, but I don't know. The one that really broke the internet was the one when I said Coach Drees out here signing all the players and y'all scared. Broke the internet completely. I think we had like 3,000, 4,000 comments on that thing.
And second part of the question: favorite Louisville athletes of all time. I'd say I don't know how many you're gonna want to think of or give me. If you can think of enough, could you try and think of a Mount Rushmore? If not, just name like one or two that stand out.
Mount Rushmore, Montrezl Harrell, um, Lamar Jackson, of course, uh, uh, Jair Alexander for the Packers,
Love that.
Makai Bagden, he was a beast for us, even though he's not really that great, even though he just won a Super Bowl. And that's four.
No Spider, no
You
Donovan
might have
Mitchell.
to. Nah, no Donovan Mitchell. This the thing. Well, he is on there because of what he does now. But Donovan Mitchell, don't get me wrong, he's a great Louisville player, but I don't even think he was the best Louisville player basketball wise. He got better in the NBA. He's one of those guys, like like Gilgis or whatever his name is from OKC. You know what I'm talking about, point guard Shy.
Sh- uh, Shea Gilgis Alexander.
He went to Kentucky. A lot of people don't even remember him at Kentucky because he wasn't that good at Kentucky. He's they are in that same mode. Donovan Mitchell just went berserk after he left us. Now I don't know if that's a coaching problem or what. Was he a solid player? Yeah, but he wasn't Donovan Mitchell we know today.
Yeah, I
The
would agree.
guys I named off, yeah, the guys I named off was the men, like was that man at their time in Louisville.
Yeah, I remember
That's
Russ
no
Smith
knock again.
at Louisville.
Yeah, Russ Smith was probably the best guard we ever had, and a lot of basketball players, I mean, a lot of basketball fans won't even know who he is. But when I tell you, like, he was the Kentucky killer for a reason.
Yes, I remember that. Appreciate you coming on, Coach Skinny. That's gonna do it for this episode of the J Rock Show. Appreciate all of you tuning in. Hope you're all having a great day, a great week. And remember, folks, SimWorld, the only place you can see the game, be the game. Have a great week, everybody.